deeper into their minds.
This particular bout of inflation certainly came as a surprise to me.
Grasp their ideas.
You will see India's tax revenue go up exponentially.
Explore the world's most pertinent issues through their eyes.
I think India in general is on a very, very firm wicket.
In an uncensored conversation with the big, the bold, and the beautiful in business.
If the laws have outlived their utility, I would be the first to say, let's review the laws.
The Appointment on CNBC TV 18. Who knew a conversation could be all this and more? Who says you can't profit from markets on a weekend? Tune in to CNBC TV 18 on Saturday and Sunday mornings to prepare yourself for the week ahead and get a head start that you will profit from. Taking stock at these times, only on CNBC TV 18. Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable. UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV 18 present Financial Advisor Forum 2013-2014.
Since you have a captive audience here in terms of three very big financial institutions, producers of products, what would the financial planning community want from them in terms of improving your skills? I mean, soft skills, how to sell to the customer, how to make your selling skills sharpen. What would you want from your producers?
So I think the biggest thing in this business is, that the advisor needs to have the confidence in the products that he's selling. And I think ultimately, besides trust, it is your confidence which the customer buys. And that's what I think the manufacturers need to instill. Because, for example, is that the last 3 years' performance of equity, even manufacturers don't have confidence in equity. Manufacturers need to focus on, rather than giving market outlooks, giving, advice on in terms of what is the asset allocation that a customer needs to have, focus on the asset allocation, focus on the planning, and that would take care of, the sort of a favorable outcome for the investors.
Okay. But coming to your point on confidence in returns, Mr. Puri, is one of the problems that whether it is the financial planner or the media or the manufacturer, we are trying to analyze products from past experience. Because equity gave so much returns from 2005 to 2007, 2008 and 9 you sold equity products where you should actually have not sold equity products at that time. Now, from 2008 or maybe 9 to 2013, because of high inflation, fixed income products actually returned at least better than equity. But we would be making a mistake by selling fixed income products this year and next year when perhaps growth has bottomed out and we should be selling equity. So how do you overcome this constant habit of going by past experience when that precisely should be avoided?
In this area, there are some very old and eternal truths, Lata, which I can't improve on. Which is that the simple reality is that at any point in time, you have to do two things. You have to understand your customer in terms of his risk profile, current position, age, and inclination. And you have to understand where you are in the market cycle and carry out an asset allocation. There is never a binary answer to this. I don't think as a manufacturer, we take the view that the right thing is to sell equities or sell fixed income. It's our job to make available a set of well-balanced products that we absolutely have faith and conviction in, and to manage those consistently to ensure that we produce the best relative returns for that asset class. I think it would be remarkably foolish for any household in India not to have equity exposure, and equally it would be remarkably foolish to essentially have made 100% bet in equities just because you think there's a bull run coming, because you are bound to be disappointed there. So the whole purpose of the mutual fund industry is to create instruments which will allow asset allocation to happen. And it is unfortunate that occasionally our products, and I blame ourselves as well as our distributors for this, get used as speculative instruments. The purpose of the mutual fund industry is to offer an alternative to speculative instruments.
Straight away to you, Anup, to develop on the point, he faces a real problem when his investor tells him that you made me put from 2008 onwards or 2007 onwards, every month 5,000 rupees into an SIP, via an SIP, into a mutual fund product, and this is not even giving me 1% return. I've lost my capital. So how should he save himself?
The key there is, make it small so that it doesn't hurt. Okay, and you can only make it small when your cost structure is low. Make it small so that it doesn't hurt. So, and make it like a polio drip therapy. You cut 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees every month, and let it go. It doesn't hurt. See, when you have inertia on the opposite side, the key from a financial planner, financial advisor perspective is that don't resist inertia. Come on the side of inertia. And you put him in a systemic investment in a manner which is not a very large sum. If it is very large sum, then he will jump up.
The same question I put to Anup. Any advice from your international bank of experience?
So, I think from fundamentally, you cannot be chasing absolute returns.
Can you really educate your customers to saying that you cannot make absolute returns, you can make only relative returns?
Very sophisticated, the HNIs will buy that, but most of the retail will not buy that. But I think my sense is a lot of the retail customers do not really see that way. And if I could just, the suggestion I would give to a lot of the IFAs is one of the things that, because we are a very fixed income oriented culture, what customer sees in a bank is he gets an interest every quarter or half yearly. So if you create a portfolio where there is element of equity also, and he gets some dividend from that equity scheme, a lot of customers have that psychology that the holding period then can increase. As long as they see some income coming, even though the NAV might have gone down, it gives them a greater psychological thing to hold on.
Okay. How do you address this problem?
Okay,
this is going to be everybody's problem.
So the point is, and the point I was trying to make is that it's to do with the goal setting. Everything has to start with the goal setting. So you do a goal setting with your client, do the risk profiling, work on asset allocation, work on diversification, and ensure that he is able to leverage the advantages of rupee cost averaging, the advantages of compounding, and looking at the risk-adjusted return. So it's to do with the real objective of the client, and our role as a distributor or as a role of an advisor from your perspective is to see how do we help partner, facilitate him, the client achieving his goals in a manner which is sustainable, where he see the value added by the distributor or an advisor in this case.
UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV18 present Financial Advisor Forum 2013-2014. Welcome to India's business newsroom. CNBC TV18 is India's #1 business news channel in 2014. CNBC TV18, 14 years of business leadership.
I love cars, and I test them to the very limit, and sometimes beyond.
I have your weekly dose of news, analysis and exclusive happenings in the automotive sector.
I've tested every motorcycle launched in India for the past 13 years. I help you make the right buying decision. I am Overdrive.
I am Overdrive.
I am Overdrive.
Servo presents Overdrive at these times.
Overdrive, presented by Servo. Add life.
Take a selfie for India. Simply take a picture of yourself with a watermark after voting and tweet it to us at #selfie4India, and we'll put it on television and firstpost.com.
These days, it's tough getting together for conversations. In election season, how about meeting up with leaders who shape our future? How about asking them questions, understanding their mind? From your living room, coffee shop, office, or wherever you are. As we get ready to vote our next government in, let's get together with all the top political leaders of India face to face on Network 18 Google in Conversation, co-presented by R.R. Kabel, only on CNBC TV18.
Co-presented by R.R. Kabel, वायर नहीं भारत की नब्ज है हम.
Who says you can't profit from markets on a weekend? Tune in to CNBC TV18 on Saturday and Sunday mornings to prepare yourself for the week ahead and get a head start that you will profit from. Taking stock at these times, only on CNBC TV18. Did you know that the first Asian player to score a hat-trick at the Olympics was an Indian? It's time to wake up the sleeping giant of global football. Indian university football is India's largest untapped talent pool. As part of the League India Football Experience Series, Network 18 presents the All India University Football Championship, one of India's largest football tournaments featuring teams from more than 200 universities. At these times, only on CNBC TV 18. Focus, ideate, innovate, enable. UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV 18 present Financial Advisor Forum 2013-2014.
We understand that some questions have already come up from the audience. Well, this one comes from Mr. Deepak Khemani. Mr. Khemani's question is to you, Mr. Puri. When will manufacturers come together for the advisor? 44 AMCs and no one common application form.
The banks do not have a common application form for a fixed deposit, and they manage all right. So just in principle, I don't think the problem is necessarily a common application form. We are not a utility. I will defend our rights as a manufacturer to say, I as a manufacturer am different from other manufacturers. Otherwise, you wouldn't need 44 of us. But I think it's useful for you to have a choice, if I'm honest about it. But having said that, I do think there are things we can do in terms of a common KYC, a common account number. And these are initiatives that many of you are probably aware the industry is taking. We are committed to doing that and are taking that forward with AMFI, which will make your life, I hope, much easier.
Uday Joshi is the person who's asking this question. Is there any plan by which advisors can serve clients virtually using technology so that they don't even have to spend time in terms of getting signatures and putting photographs? The reference is really to the eKYC, what the finance minister stressed, and which now the Reserve Bank also is forcing banks.
I think with the advent of Aadhaar, there is a significant power which brings to it, and it has almost 50% penetration today among our. So we're seeing it. Banks are beginning to use. We are working towards embedding it because we all have to do KYC at a periodic intervals between 2, 8, and 10 years. And the easiest way to do it is to use the Aadhaar-enabled device, which enables you to do it purely either on a remote platform by getting, phone on your phone, or just a biometrics touch. And that will eventually become for all of us to do, maybe at a point in time start doing transaction on it. Today, right now, what Reserve Bank of India said, use it for KYC, but there is I think as the market evolves, that will become important factor.
Dhruv, you would think eKYC will mean really a cut of cost?
Yeah, I think, again, it's a question of if your business model is to scale up, you want to increase the volumes, then as an individual IFA, there is a limitation to the number of clients you can handle individually. So if you are one person and you are going to handle, say, maybe 100 clients, then maybe eKYC is not that important. But if you are going to build a team of even 3 or 4 other, IFAs working with you, and as you want to build scale, then I think technology becomes essential, without which you would not be able to scale up.
Well, on that point, since the panelists here have taken lessons from the audience, we do hope that what they have discussed today will also help in you taking away some lessons and perhaps being more effective financial planners. Thank you very much for joining us today.
UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV 18 present Financial Advisor Forum 2013-2014. Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.
Presenting sponsor UTI Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully. Powered by ICRA.